It was a humid, restless night at the port of Rotterdam. The air was thick with the scent of rain and diesel, and the distant hum of engines echoed across the sprawling docks. Streetlights cast long, shimmering reflections on the wet ground, painting the port in a surreal, almost cinematic glow. Massive cargo ships floated like silent giants in the dark water, their hulls looming over the docks, illuminated by harsh floodlights. The ships seemed almost alive, creaking and groaning as they shifted with the tide, their decks stacked high with containers from all over the world. 17-year-old Luca stood by the rusted fence, his breath visible in the cool night air, eyes wide and heart pounding in his chest. Every sound made him flinch, a distant clang, a seagull's cry, the low rumble of a truck passing by. He clutched a small, battered flashlight, its beam trembling in his unsteady hand. Luca was waiting for the signal from a man he barely knew, a shadowy figure who had promised quick cash for a risky job. The promise of money was tempting, but the fear was overwhelming. Luca knew exactly what was hidden inside the container just a few meters away, a stash of pure cocaine, carefully packed and worth millions on the street. The knowledge weighed on him, making his palms sweat and his mind race with worst-case scenarios. He was not alone in this. Other teens, some barely older than him, gathered in the shadows nearby. Some shivered with fear, their faces pale and anxious, while others buzzed with nervous excitement, whispering about the money and the thrill of the job. Each of them had their own reasons for being there, some desperate, some reckless, all of them in over their heads. Suddenly, a sharp whistle pierced the silence, cutting through the tension like a knife. It was the signal they'd been waiting for, and in that instant, everything changed. In seconds, the group sprang into action, moving as one. They ducked behind crates, their footsteps muffled by the rain-soaked ground, slipping past the watchful eyes of security guards. Every movement was calculated, every breath held in anticipation. For Luca, this was his first job, a leap into a world he barely understood. He told himself it would be his last, that he'd walk away after tonight. But deep down, he knew he was already in too deep, tangled in something far bigger and more dangerous than he'd ever imagined. That night, they retrieved tightly wrapped packets of drugs from the container, adrenaline surging as they dashed to a waiting van parked in the shadows. The whole operation was over in minutes, but every second felt stretched and electric, as if time itself was holding its breath. When it was done, the port fell silent again, empty except for the distant sound of waves and the occasional cry of a gull. Luca sat alone near the containers as dawn approached, his mind racing with what he'd just done. The job was finished, but the consequences were only beginning. He would soon learn the true cost of getting involved in the shadowy world of port smuggling, a cost measured not just in money, but in trust, fear, and the loss of innocence. For Luca, that humid night at the port of Rotterdam would haunt him for years to come. Ports are busy, crowded, and full of hiding places. Every day, thousands of containers arrive on giant ships from all over the world. Some hold electronics or clothes, others hide secrets. For drug gangs, ports are perfect. They can move huge amounts of cocaine quickly and secretly. The size and chaos of ports make them hard to control. Security teams can't check every single container. Smugglers know this. They hide cocaine among normal goods, sometimes in bananas, sometimes in car parts. Once the drugs arrive, the race is on to get them out before security finds them. Ports in Europe and the United States are especially busy. This means gangs can try to smuggle drugs in every day. With so much activity, a few extra people or odd movements often go unnoticed. That's why ports have become the new front lines in the fight against drugs. Gangs need help inside the ports. These criminal organizations know that getting their product through security is risky, so they look for people who can blend in and go unnoticed. The ports are busy, chaotic places, and it's easy for someone to slip through the cracks if they know what they're doing, or if they have help from the inside. Teens are the perfect target. They're often overlooked by security, and their presence doesn't raise suspicion. Many are just hanging around, looking for something to do, making them easy to approach. Some work there as cleaners, helpers, or even as family members of port staff. These jobs might seem harmless, but they give teens access to restricted areas and valuable information about port routines and security shifts. Others are recruited from poor neighborhoods nearby. In these areas, opportunities are scarce, and the promise of quick money is tempting. Gangs know exactly where to look for vulnerable youth who feel invisible or desperate for a way out. Criminals look for kids who need money or want excitement. Sometimes threats are used. Teens might be pressured with intimidation or told that something bad will happen to their family if they refuse. Other times, promises of easy cash win teens over. The idea of making more money in a night than they could in a week of honest work is hard to resist, especially when their families are struggling. For many teens, the work starts small. They might be asked to do simple tasks that don't seem illegal at first, just keeping an eye out or running errands. Maybe they just watch for police. Acting as lookouts, they alert the gang if security is nearby, thinking it's harmless and low risk. Or maybe they pass a message or carry a phone. These small jobs build trust with the gang and make the teens feel important, like they're part of something bigger. But soon, they're asked to do more, like sneaking into containers or running with bags of drugs. The risk grows. So does the pressure. What started as a favor or a quick job becomes a dangerous routine, and the stakes get higher with every task. Some teens think it's a quick way out of poverty or a boring life. They dream of escaping their circumstances, and the gang offers what seems like an easy solution. They believe it's just one job. They tell themselves they'll stop after this, but the reality is rarely that simple. But once involved, it's hard to leave. The gangs keep track of who's helped them, and walking away can mean facing threats or violence. The gangs use fear and loyalty to keep teens quiet. They create a sense of belonging, but also make it clear that betrayal will not be tolerated. The teens become part of the machine that moves cocaine through the world's busiest ports. They're caught in a cycle that's hard to break, risking their futures for a chance at fast money and fleeting excitement. Smuggling cocaine out of a busy port is not just dangerous, it's a high-stakes game that demands both nerve and creativity. Many teens, often lured by the promise of quick money or pressured by older criminals, become pawns in this risky world. They use a surprising variety of tricks and tactics to move drugs past tight security. Sometimes, these teens are instructed to hide small packets of cocaine in their clothes, shoes, or even sewn into the linings of their bags. They might act casual, blending in with crowds at security checkpoints, hoping not to draw attention. Some even use specially designed backpacks or jackets with hidden compartments, making it harder for guards to find the drugs during quick searches. Other times, the operation is more daring. Under the cover of darkness, teens sneak into massive shipping containers, often guided by text messages or maps sent by smugglers. They have to move quickly and quietly, grabbing hidden packages before anyone notices their presence. Some teens take even greater risks, swimming across freezing, pitch-black waters to reach secret pickup spots along the docks. The water is cold and dangerous, but the fear of getting caught, or letting down the gang, pushes them forward. One of the most common tricks is known as the rip-off method. In this method, drugs are hidden inside a regular shipping container that's already packed with normal goods like electronics, clothes, or food. The drugs are carefully concealed, taped behind boxes or hidden in false panels, making them hard to spot during routine inspections. The teen's job is to find the exact container, open it quickly, and remove the drugs before anyone notices. Timing is everything. If they're too slow, they risk being caught by security, or even attacked by rival gangs who want the drugs for themselves. The threat of violence is real. If teens are caught, they might face arrest, but sometimes the danger comes from other criminals who are watching and waiting for a chance to steal the shipment. To avoid suspicion, some teens go as far as wearing fake security uniforms or carrying forged ID badges. This helps them blend in with workers and move around the port without raising alarms. In rare cases, teens have even stolen forklifts or other equipment to move containers themselves, making the operation look like just another part of the busy port routine. Smugglers are always looking for new ways to outsmart security cameras and guards. They study patrol routes, hack into surveillance systems, or use lookouts to warn when it's safe to move. For these teens, every night at the port is a tense, dangerous game of hide and seek. One where the stakes are freedom, safety, and sometimes even their lives. The dangers are real. Teens risk arrest, prison, and violence from gangs. Some are caught by police and end up with criminal records that destroy their future. Others are hurt or killed if they make mistakes or talk to the wrong people. Inside the ports, there are no second chances. But the risks don't stop there. Many teens live in fear after getting involved. They can't sleep or go to school. Friends and family notice changes, but teens often feel trapped. If they try to quit, gangs might threaten them or their loved ones. The pressure is crushing. The long-term effects are just as bad. A criminal record can end dreams of travel, college, or a good job. Some teens lose their lives to drugs or violence. Others are scarred by what they have seen and done. The price of a quick job is higher than most can imagine. Port security is always on alert. Cameras watch the gates and fences. Guards patrol day and night. Dogs sniff for drugs. Scanners check containers for hidden packages. But with thousands of containers and busy crowds, it's easy to miss something. Security teams use technology, but gangs use tricks. Smugglers sometimes work with insiders who know the security systems. They find weak spots, like broken cameras or empty guard posts. They move fast, often working at night or during shift changes. Some ports have started using drones to watch from above. Others use facial recognition to spot fake workers. But every new tool makes smugglers find new tricks. It's a constant battle. Security tries to keep up, but the ports are huge, and the criminals are determined. Gangs are always looking for new ways to beat security. They change their methods often. Sometimes they bribe port workers for inside information. Other times they use encrypted phones to plan every move in secret. They watch guards and cameras, waiting for the perfect moment. Teens are often used as runners. They move quickly and blend in. They know where the cameras are blind, or where a fence is easy to climb. Some even use social media to communicate in code. The gangs train them well, teaching them how to hide, lie, and escape. Sometimes criminals use decoys, causing a distraction in one area while teens grab the drugs elsewhere. They are always adapting. For every new security tool, gangs invent a new trick. This cat-and-mouse game puts teens at even greater risk. Police and customs officers are fighting back. They use undercover agents to catch gangs in the act. They plant trackers in containers, hoping to follow the drugs to their final stop. International teams share information across borders, making it harder for smugglers to hide. Law enforcement tries to warn teens about the dangers. Schools and youth workers visit neighborhoods near ports. They teach kids how gangs operate and how to stay safe. Some programs offer jobs or sports to keep teens away from crime. But it's a tough fight. Gangs are rich and powerful. They can replace any teen who gets caught. Still, police keep trying. Every arrest helps slow the flow of cocaine and protects a young life. The battle is far from over, but hope remains. The world inside busy ports is hidden from most of us, but it's closer than we think. Teens are being pulled into dangerous games with deadly stakes. It's not just a problem for ports, it's a problem for every community. We must act before more kids are lost. Awareness is the first step. Parents, teachers, and friends need to talk openly about the risks. Communities should support programs that give teens better choices. Lawmakers must invest in port security and youth outreach. Every life saved is a victory. We can't let fear and silence win. By working together, we can protect our teens from the hidden dangers at our ports. It's time to shine a light on the shadows and build a safer future for everyone.